Hello. I thought I'll share a bit about certain mnemonic that has helped me remember the CDPs and to understand the story almost or the relationship between these core design principles. And before I start, I just want to remind you that it can be overwhelming and this is not sort of a thing that we need to necessarily memorize or make sure that we have it on hand all the time, but rather more of something that we are building a relationship with. And so the mnemonic. Um, you think about CDP1, shared identity and purpose, and I am reminded of what it must look like or feel like to be in a group where there's just one center and everything within that unity has a shared vision and purpose and a certain way of being and moving toward what matters together. And when we come to CDP2, we add another circle. And when you have two, we have duality, we have relationship, we have the back and forth interaction between the two, and we start to think about concepts about what's equity, what are ways in which we can be fair and inclusive with each other, how do we have equitable distribution of contributions and benefits flowing back and forth. And then we come to CDP3, which we add one more circle. And so when you have three circles, then you start to have that 1 plus 1 equals more than the sum of the parts kind of interaction going on. So within the interaction between the constituents of the group, the people in the group, what are new norms, what are new ways of being, doing together, acting together, how are decisions made, and what are the ways that we can, in this new thing that is formed when more than two people are together, what are the ways we form fair and inclusive decisions and have that decision making process be fair and inclusive as well. And then we come to CDP4. And when I think of CDP4, I think of four circles together, like this, almost in a square. And this shape to me signifies stability. So what are the agreed behaviors that have been sort of acknowledged as either implicit or explicit norms? What kinds of homeostatic cultural norms, ways of being together that we agree upon and monitor and try to support and nurture as healthy ways of showing up in the group. And then CDP5, I think about a fifth circle. And when I think about CDP5, graduated responding to helpful and unhelpful behavior, I think about out of this stability of the four, the fifth thing that is the difference or the innovation or the thing that breaks boundaries or does something new within the system. How do we respond to that? How do we reinforce what is helpful and regulate what is less helpful to the group? And how does that dance of interaction play out in CDP5? And with CDP6, so with CDP5, you move on to CDP6. And then again, you have that even symmetry that denotes some level of stability, some level of harmony. So this is after what has come up in terms of difference or what has come up in terms of stimuli. If it is something that creates conflict or tension, what are the different ways that we can weave back into more harmonious relationship? And this scales the whole spectrum from sort of impromptu sort of relational ways to sort of manage conflict or manage misunderstanding to more formal processes. And CDP 7, let me see how I do this. Yep, this is CDP 7. So with CDP 7, again there's this strength that comes from this solitary almost like point of the spear, and that reminds me or signifies to me some level of independence, some level of authority, some level of being able to move strongly together in the world. And yeah, those are keynotes for me for CDP7, which is the authority to self-govern as a healthy, functional, aligned, harmonious unit. And with CDP8, we come to With CDP8, again, we conjure the harmonious symmetry of the evenness as well. And CDP8 is collaborative relations with other groups. So when I see 8, I think about the infinity symbol and what goes on in the long term in perpetuity, and how does this even symmetry sort of like sync up or combine with other groups which are like it to weave ever more complex and elegant and beautiful patterns for social groups. That's it. I hope that is helpful. I'd love to hear what you all think.